treatment could last 10 minutes or 4 hours. It came, enveloping its target, at the Johnson Ranch swimming pool, at one of his offices, in the Senate cloakroom, on the floor of the Senate itself, wherever Johnson might find a fellow senator within his reach. Its tone could be supplication, accusation, cajolery, exuberance, scorn, tears, complaint, and a hint of threat. It was all these together. It ran the gamut of human emotions. Its velocity was breathtaking, and it was all in one direction. Johnson anticipated what they were going to say before they could speak it. He moved in, his face a scant millimeter from his target, his eyes widening and narrowing, his eyebrows rising and falling. From his pockets poured clippings, memos, statistics, mimicry, humor, and the genius of an algemade. The treatment had almost hypnotic experience and rendered the target stunned and helpless. And this is according to Robert Novak's book, Lyndon B. Johnson, The Exercise of Power. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th President of the United States, serving from 1963 to 1969. A towering figure in American politics, he's loved and hated by many. His legacy lives on to this day. Lyndon Baines Johnson was born August 27, 1908 in Stonewall, Texas. Born to Samuel Ely Johnson, Jr. and Rebecca Baines. He was the eldest of 5. His mother stayed at home and raised the kids, and his father was a businessman and a representative in the Texas Senate. After he graduated from high school, he went to Southwest Texas Teachers College, and he briefly took a break there to become a teacher. He taught Mexican-American children in a small community in Southwest Texas. This later provided some hands-on experience for him concerning minorities, and it really helped to give him a sense of the poor population of Texas and later for the United States. He married Claudia Lady Bird Taylor in 1934. He was first elected to the House in 1937. He served in World War II from 1941 to 1942 in the Pacific Theater of War. He was awarded the Silver Star for service in combat. He proved to be a very effective lawmaker, and he held many different leadership positions in the House and in the Senate. He was very well known for being a bully, a manipulator. He used the so-called Johnson treatment to get what he wanted from the people under him, and to get his own interests passed through Congress. After being in the House, he was elected to the Senate in 1949. During that time, he served as the Senate Majority Whip, and he helped to really move things through Congress and got laws passed, like I said. It came time in 1960 when he was going to run for president. He didn't join the race fast enough, and so it was John F. Kennedy who ended up getting the nomination and ended up taking Johnson on his ticket as the vice president. They later won the election in a landslide. It was then, in November 22nd, 1963, after the assassination of John F. Kennedy, that he was sworn in as president on Air Force One. Now that we've talked about Johnson's early life, we talked about his rise to the presidency, we can talk about some points regarding his presidency from 1963 to 1969. This is a quote from Johnson himself. "Until justice is blind to color, until education is unaware of race, until opportunity is unconcerned with the color of men's skin, emancipation will be not a proclamation, or will be a proclamation but not a fact." Some of his main points as president included passing civil rights laws, including the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act. He was also a supporter of what he called the Great Society. It was a series of social reforms, including health care and government programs, sort of carrying on from Roosevelt's New Deal, where he wanted to help each and every citizen of the United States who needed the help. A negative side of his presidency was after he was elected in his own right, he started to experience bad approval ratings due to his involvement in Vietnam. He had the Tonkin Resolution passed, which made him able to command the troops and have troop movements in Vietnam without Congress's approval, which gained him many enemies. There was lots of rioting from students and draft dodgers that didn't want to go to war. Sadly, it was something that reluctantly he didn't want to do, but he also didn't want to experience the spread of communism in Asia and potentially even on our own doorstep. He was going to run for president again for a second term, which he was allowed to do, but he decided not to because he didn't think that he was going to be able to last for another term. His health was declining at the time. And this is from his official biographer, Robert Caro, from one of his books. Lyndon Baines Johnson died at his ranch on January 22nd, 1973, due to heart failure. He was given a state funeral, and he was buried at his family cemetery in Stonewall, Texas. Now that we've talked about the early life and the presidency of Lyndon Baines Johnson and his death, we can now talk about his effects today. The Johnson Space Center is named after him. He has a presidential library at the University of Texas. Also, the law school at the University of Texas is named after him. Also, several actors have played him on stage and on screen over the years, including Bryan Cranston played him on stage. Even his policies live on today. Social reform, government benefits for everyone. All in all, he was known as a statesman, a politician, a very effective one. He did it all his life. He didn't live very long after he left office. Politics was in his lifeblood. He would forever use his height, his stature, his giantness to rule over everyone else.